हेलो गर्ल्स एंड बॉयज, क्या हाल चाल। यार आपने शायद नोटिस किया होगा लास्ट 2 हफ्ते से ना कोई वीडियो नहीं आया, एंड दैट इज बिकॉज आई वॉज इन अ स्पिरिचुअल रिट्रीट इन मुन्नार, विच इज इन केरला in the southern part of India. So, for those of you who don't know yet, outside of my work, I'm also involved with an organization called the Tranquility. The Tranquility is based in the UK, and as part of the core team of Tranquility, I do a lot of activities with them. I'm very fortunate to be a part of the core team, and I was one of the core organizers of this retreat as well, along with being a facilitator. So at Tranquility, what do? Our mission is expansion of human consciousness. What does that mean? That means we do a lot of activities, we do a lot of workshops, courses, certain modules, online things, or in person to help us humans increase our level of consciousness so that we can operate at our highest abilities. How does that help? Well, once your consciousness एक बार increase हो गई ना, तो आप एक अलग ही dimension पे operate करते हो, and that helps you succeed at your work and your corporate life as well. So that's what we do at the Tranquility. So this retreat was in India, and it was carefully chosen to be in Munnar because उस जगह का एक significance है. Munnar, as you're probably aware, those of you who are from this part of the world, it is said to be the capital of Ayurveda as well. So it has a lot of history behind it, a lot of significance. That's why we chose to do the retreat in Munnar. This was a second retreat. The first retreat happened last year. Now, when you hear the word retreat, you think it will be a cool thing, you go for a couple of days, maybe there'll be some yoga, maybe some talks, you get to chill out, maybe go to the pool, and then maybe do some shopping or lie around. That's what you typically think when you hear the word retreat. But this one was different. In fact, all our retreats are different. This is not under the banner of a relaxation retreat. This is under the category of a transformation retreat. What does that mean? That means if you want to work on yourself, if you want to increase your level of consciousness to be able to succeed at home, at work, at relationships, at creating impact on the world, anything in between, or if you want to heal yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, any one of these, this is the place to come. And we will keep doing probably 2 or 3 retreats in a year. And as we get closer to the next one, and we are just in the planning stage, I'll come out with that information as well, and you can look at the handles of Tranquility. I'll pin that in the comments so you can have a look at it as well. But it is a retreat which requires effort from you if you decide to attend it. So this was a 7-day retreat. What do we do in the 7 days? Well, day 1 was just arrival, keeping it a little bit light because people came in around the early evenings. So day 1 was chillax. Day 2, we start opening up your heart and your mind. We rip it apart. We expose everything that's underneath it. All the pain, all the trauma, all the negative energy that you might be holding on to. We rip it apart and tear you apart. Then, day 3, day 4, we start healing your things. We start giving you your purpose. We start expanding your brain. And this would mean going to the past life, even before that, things which have happened in your childhood, anything of that sort. Or if you're more forward looking, why are you here? What are you here for? What's your purpose? Things around that as well. So that's day 3 and day 4. Day 5 and 6, once all the background work is done, then we start healing you, stitching you up together, and making you whole. And day 7, when you have gone through experiences, we have tore you apart, we've exposed certain underlying things, we've given you tricks and techniques, and we've healed you, we've stitched you back, then you demonstrate your innate abilities. We say, hey, can you do this now? Can you do that? And when you start doing things which you have never ever done before, the light bulb starts popping. And then we pack you up as new and send you back in the world, enabling you with an ecosystem to come back to when you would have to. So that's what happens in the 7-day retreat. Now, for the analytical minds, I'll tell you a little bit more on what we did in this specific retreat. So every day हम सुबह 6 बजे शुरू करते थे. 6 बजे क्यों? क्योंकि 6 बजे योगा करना चाहिए. It's a good thing. Why not? Plus, that opens up your mind, and the yoga would happen in the hotel. It was a beautiful 5-star boutique hotel that we were staying at, a beautiful property which had an inbuilt waterfall. So we would go on the terrace and then do the yoga overlooking the tea plantation. It was a beautiful space, and there we would open up our physical body and we would stretch, we would just absorb the environment. So it was a great way to start your day. 6 to 7 yoga, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 9:30 breakfast, and 10 a.m. we would start. So 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. back to back, one after the other, sessions, workshops, experimentation, going deeper, all of that would happen. To give you some more idea, to give you, for those who are looking for specifics, I'll give you a couple of things that we did in this retreat that will get you a sense of what we're talking about. We explored the etheric form of the body. What does it mean? This is the physical body, right? Above the physical body, some people say, right, there is aura. You see a picture of our gods, goddesses, you see certain light here. That's called aura. So there are bodies above the physical body. There is a mental body, there is an emotional body, there is an etheric body, there is an astral body, and they extend beyond the physical body from a few inches to a few feet. So we studied about that. What are these? What is the purpose? What is stored where? And that led us to self-beliefs. Why do we have certain self-beliefs? Where are they coming from? And then we spoke about the soul journey. What is the journey of your soul? Which goes back to, why am I here? What is the purpose? What dent am I supposed to make on the universe? So that was the soul journey. And then we went a step further to say, because you are a soul which has a journey, what is the origin of that? Where did you come from? And we went as far as going to meet your cosmic family. What is the origin? Where are you coming from? And that evening we did a stargazing meditation. So every night we would have a meditation from 9 to 10, 10, 15. And then we went into a forest, a natural reserve, and then we did a cacao ceremony. That was to open you up further to certain things that were coming. And then we did a very, very special session called shamanic drumming. It was was a lot of drumming, a lot of instruments, a lot of things, and a lot of breakthroughs happened that evening. People shouted, people cried, lot of breakthroughs, lot of transformations happened that day. And then once that was happening, the next days we connected you to super consciousness. What is that? So you've often probably heard बड़े-बड़े musicians, mathematicians, scholars ये बोलते हैं कि मैंने गाना बनाया नहीं है, ये गाना आया कहीं से, ये डाउनलोड हुआ. कहाँ से होता है ये डाउनलोड? सुपर कॉन्शियसनेस. यू हर्ड ऑफ यूरेका मूवमेंट, राइट? दैट Greek philosopher was sitting down and eureka, and he got something. कहाँ से आया वो eureka? Super consciousness. So how to connect with your super consciousness? Then we did a life between life meditation. What happens after this life? What happened before this life? All of this to build your innate abilities, which we did on the 7th day. So that's a rough, very rough, maybe a 2-3 minute thing on what all we did. I'll let you read that for a minute and then I'll come back. What was my role as a facilitator in this retreat? So number one role as a facilitator, I was the tech guy. Of course. The only in the facilitators, I was the only technology guy, so of course that was there. But the fundamental role of a facilitator is to make the retreat special for the attendees and to ensure that they go back home a new person. So to facilitate all of that, that's why we are called the facilitators. And the second most important job of a facilitator is to hold space for the participants. Because when you go deep inside a person, when you talk about traumas, higher purpose, this thing is very, very personal and very one-to-one. So you need to hold space for the other person to break down, to cry, to say things he or she has never ever said to anybody, not even to himself or herself, and to hold the space for them and then to give them the right guidance, help them go deeper, break through the patterns, break through the traumas, and then to stitch them up apart. That's the role of a facilitator. And I am extremely humbled and thankful for the Tranquility, for giving me this opportunity to serve the attendees. 3 things I personally learned from this retreat. Number 1, go with the flow. Now, typically imagine that if you were organizing a corporate event for, let's say, about 24 people, right? Now, and it's a 7-day event, your mind would go crazy with the amount of planning it would take. And imagine the CEOs and the CXOs of the world are traveling and flying in from all different locations. We had about 24 people. A majority of the people in the retreat flew down from US, Europe, Canada, Singapore, New Zealand. So we had people from pretty much across the globe, right? So imagine the amount of prep it would take to do a corporate event like this. For this retreat, obviously we had a rough agenda for every day planned out, and then who would do what, who would take what part depending on our own expertise. Each of us facilitators, 5 of us, we picked up certain things that we can do. But every day, every session was going with the flow. Depending on what the participants needed, the agenda would change, the talk, the activities in between those sessions would be changed. On the fly, on the run. And that's what I learned. When you operate at that level of consciousness and when you align yourself with some higher energies, तो जादू होता है भाई. उसमें फिर दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको सिर्फ अलाइन करना है और चीज़ें अपने आप होती हैं. आपको सिर्फ ये बोलना है कि मैं वही बोलूँगा जो सामने वाले को इफेक्ट करे, इम्पैक्ट करे. वो नहीं जो उनको सुनना है. Not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. Please allow me to say that what they need to hear. Please guide me to do what is best for my participants. So go with the flow. That's the first thing I learned. The second thing, that our existence in the grand scheme of things, in this universe, in this multiverse, in this galaxy, is so minuscule that it doesn't really matter. And when you look at things from that perspective, आपकी 99.9% प्रॉब्लम तो वहीं सॉल्व हो जाती है, क्योंकि वो प्रॉब्लम है ही नहीं. वो आपके दिमाग में है, यहाँ बना के रखी है. रियलिटी में तो वो कुछ है ही नहीं, बहुत छोटी है. सो थिंग्स कम अंडर पर्सपेक्टिव. द थर्ड थिंग, देयर इज अ डिवाइन ऑर्डर in everything that is happening right now. If you're happy, if you're in a good place in life, there is a divine order to it. If you're upset, if you are uncomfortable, that is also by divine order. If you're frustrated, if nothing is happening in your life, that is also by divine order. Nothing happens by chance. What do? We don't have to understand the divine order. We don't have to understand how the operating system works. We just need to learn how to use the operating system. We just need to know how to use this operating system called life. उसके internals, उसके algorithms, उसके cues, उसके processes, उसके सब समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. Right? हमें तो सिर्फ word खोलना और उस पर टाइप करना है. हमें तो सिर्फ आईडी खोलना और उस पर प्रोग्राम लिखना है. सो देयर इज अ डिवाइन ऑर्डर इन एवरीथिंग दैट इज हैपनिंग अराउंड. एंड देन द फोर्थ बोनस थिंग इज दैट इन दीज 7 days, बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ वर्क जो हम कर रहे थे, दैट वाज सो एक्सटेंसिव ऑन द बॉडी एंड द माइंड. सम ऑफ अस वर फास्टिंग, बट आई स्किप्ड डिनर फॉर द 7 days. Because, and otherwise also the food was very light, obviously vegetarian food, but very, very light food, so that your body is equipped to handle these kind of heavy things that you're doing. And that is a practice which I have continued. तो रात को खाना उड़ा दिया. I never imagined I would be doing this because I am a hardcore foodie. But तब से शायद एक आध दिन रात को डिनर किया होगा. I feel more energetic. My meditations have gone deeper. My understanding of things around me has gotten much deeper. And I feel a more light and a blissful person. So if you've never tried any sort of fasting, intermittent, whatever you want to call it, I would highly recommend do it. Try करके देखो एक बार. Hope this video made sense. It's not my typical 3 ways of doing things, bam, bam, bam video. It's a different video. But hopefully you could see the kind of work that the Tranquility is doing, and you could feel why I consider myself so fortunate to be a part of the Tranquility, and why and how I look up to him to create opportunities every single day to help me serve him and to align to be one with him. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.